Welcome to the Fourcast. Dawk, Island Dawk. You didn't give your line. Bring that beat back.
Bring that beat back, DJ. It's been so long. What is this we're doing anyway? What is this called? How do you do it? How do you broadcast? I don't know.
Man, welcome to the Fourcast.
I think HRap he got the matrix going on.
Like you doing the robot.
He looked like Jesus when he was on the cross, don't he? Right there. He looking down at Mother Mary right there.
Woman, why have you killed?
Welcome to the Fourcast, where we review movies in a completely different way, like you never have heard or seen before. It's going to be comical. It's going to be educational. It's going to be deep. It's going to be four different perspectives.
And I just want to give my rating already. 3 mics, please.
Wow.
Out the gate.
Go ahead and get that out the way.
Gate.
Wow.
Out the gate.
Yeah. I even watched this movie twice and a half, and I just could not.
Now, but before we get into the movie, the reason why we weren't on last week, as you can see, Island Dawk. It's not only Dawk, it's Island Dawk. But talk about your excursions last week.
Man, I mean, number one, I don't really want to because it's gonna make me sad having to be back, in the contiguous United 50 states. But yeah, we chartered a yacht for the U.S. Virgin Islands for 8 days. And man, all we did was we had a chef and a captain. And so we didn't have to lift a finger to do anything, The most difficult time I had was taking my flippers off to get back up on the boat. That was the most difficulty that I had all week long,
Nice.
So lots of snorkeling, lots of swimming, lots of sailing, because we sailed the boat and stuff like that. It was fantastic, man. The things that I encountered out in the wild, man, it made me truly grateful for God, man, and how He's blessed me. And man, when I say I seen some things on this trip that I recognize that many humans have lived and died, and only a handful have gotten to see. To see a golden eagle ray in its a spotted golden eagle ray, which is kin to the stingray in its natural habitat, 3 feet from me in the Caribbean Sea, is just like mine. And when I say I was affected by that for the next 48 hours, it shook me. I mean, it made just a couple of days before I saw a regular stingray, swimming along the bottom, and I'd seen them before, so it was nothing, but to go see that one, it just shook me, man, for like I said, the things that you see, and to know that the ocean and the depths thereof, we haven't even scratched the surface of the species and what's there, man. It's just, if you don't get out and see, if you have the ability to get out and see the world, I beg you, do so. It changes your entire perspective on life, period.
Yeah, and I'll say on behalf of everybody, every single day, my highlight of the day was to see what type of water you was going to be near.
Oh, really? Wasn't that some, man, the pictures did not do them justice, man. I was disappointed in some of the pictures. I was saying to myself, this isn't translating, because some of those colors, man, it's just fascinating, man. I mean, it was amazing.
You actually stayed on the boat the whole time.
The entire time.
Save that question for now.
The entire time.
Man, that's what gave me the GoPro, man. Get them underwater shots.
Yeah, we actually went to shop for one before we left, the week before we left, but I guess because of the chip shortage, or I don't know what the deal was, there was none on the shelves.
Oh, wow.
No. Now, he did get a drone, and that's what I'm going to ask him. My buddy, business partner, best friend, he got a drone, so he's got some drone footage. Matter of fact, I might have posted one of those to where he got some drone shots of us and stuff like that. So that was the second choice, But I preferred having a GoPro, because if I had a GoPro when I was doing some of that snorkeling, man, then I could have brought it to life a little bit more, Yeah. But it was fantastic, man. It was amazing. Yeah. Once in a lifetime experience. And that stemmed from, if the viewers remember, the show from the freeze claims and freeze breaks and all the work that we were doing there. You know, we were in the middle of that. And again, we worked 8 straight weeks, 12-hour days without a day off. So in the middle of that, we were like, when this is over with, we taking a once-in-a-lifetime vacation. So that's exactly what we did. And it was truly once in a lifetime, man.
Yeah.
Truly.
It was great to see all of the footage. I mean,
yeah, that was awesome.
And I was like, so where is the lady? Where is the lady in your life? I didn't see no lady there. In
Me
photos.
You don't take sand to the beach, man.
Say that again, Will.
You don't take sand to the beach.
Say that again, Will.
You don't take sand to the beach.
I don't think you don't understand that. I don't think you walk in Kroger with a gallon of milk, do you?
Man, you don't add produce to the produce.
But boy,
but it was beautiful. So
that was nice too. Not having to worry about entertaining nobody. It was just me.
Yeah.
If I wanted to lay in the fly deck and just enjoy the breeze and the sunset, I could do that. If I wanted to go get snorkeling, I could do that. If I didn't want to do nothing but sit and let the captain bring me drink after drink after drink, I could do that. You know, so to not have to babysit nobody was nice.
Yeah.
So Wilks may have some good news. I don't know if you want to let out of the bag yet, but how was your week?
You done got pregnant, Wilks. Is that what it is?
Man, hopefully with knowledge, my brother. Hopefully with knowledge. So supposedly Wednesday is the walkthrough of the new house.
Awesome.
So my ever faithful audience right here, the boxes, we can disperse them eventually, hopefully. And hopefully the close is this Friday. They're trying to, I don't know why they keep trying to push for the same day, walkthrough and close, but I don't know. But we'll see. But the walkthrough,
that's on you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's like no, man. Y'all no. I'm gonna nitpick the shit out of this house. But anyway, but no. So hopefully, the closing is soon after that, and the move to Forney is hopefully back on track.
Oh, you coming to Forney too, man?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, we finna throw a party.
Oh,
we finna throw a party.
He like probably 10, 15 minutes.
When I got back to the house, the pool's finished and the pergolas is up, and I had family in town, and we did a test run on that joker.
Nice.
Oh, we finna look here.
Nice.
Ooh, when that move is done, HRap, you need to quit hitting folks so you can get back to Dallas. We finna throw we finna throw one a shindig.
Yeah.
Oh, get ready.
Of all shindig. Well, that's a nice segue. HRap, you want to talk about something that happened today?
Man.
Hey, man. This thing, I changed my colors. It's a rough day.
Man, got the dead president shirt on.
Driving down the street. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Dead president. I'm going to need some.
Man.
And driving down the street, man, on my way home. And you know how you look right. You know, you making the right hand turn. You look right to make sure ain't nobody there. Then you look that way to make sure ain't nobody going to hit you.
Yeah.
I turned, this lady jumped in front of my ride.
What?
Wow.
I popped her too. I felt horrible, man. Wow. Man, I was like, dang. So I get out my ride and she stretched out in the ground and she's like, oh, he left. And I was like, hey, man.
Wow.
But it was me.
I'm right here.
I'm not. Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. Wow.
Now she calmed down, and then this white lady, man. I can't say what I was thinking, but is she taking pictures of my car and everything? I'm like, what are you doing? I'm right.
Was she laying like that lady in Victoria's Secret?
No. It was a sister that I hit.
I'm just saying.
I'm seeing with a Karen cape on.
Oh,
Karen cape.
I don't know what you're doing. And she, I'm doing it just in case. I'm like, just in case what? I'm standing here.
Right.
Wow.
So, you know, I call the police, man. And like, look, man.
Wow.
Over here, man. Hang up my
amazing.
phone, and I'm just standing next to my ride, man. And all these sisters, they ice grilling me like they like, what's up? You know, I'm like, really, y'all?
Wow.
y'all could clearly see that wasn't man.
Mm-hmm.
They was looking at me, and it was only our folks, man. I was thoroughly disappointed.
It sounded like she popped out of nowhere because, like you said, you look.
Yeah, I'm like, you then you go, and then you go.
Yeah.
And like the cop was like, "Hey man, did you turn on the red?" But I'm thinking to myself, bruh, this is a white guy, but I'm thinking, my man, even if I would have turned on the red, she's wrong. If I don't hit her on this street, if I don't hit her when I'm going south, she's wrong. If I'm turning, that means if I'm turning on the red and this is green, she's gonna get hit anyway.
Wow.
But I'm like, hey, well, and the police, man, he was cool, man. You know what I'm saying? But the black folks downtown, man, I swear to God, man, downtown Chicago, black people, it's clear that y'all ancestors were the slaves that were snitching.
Wow.
Because they was walking up to the police, the man said, what happened? I give him the 411. I said, yeah, man, it's what happened, man. Bam, bam. I follow the rules. Bam, look, bam, go. He said, hey, man, it happens all the time. I hear this old black man going,
I'm sure.
Get hit right there every day. Every week, somebody get hit.
Right.
And all these sisters downtown looking at me like I'm running over black women t-shirt with a 40 ounce in my hand with a blunt in my mouth.
Right.
And I'm like, really, y'all?
You stayed there.
Right. And I'm like,
if you was that type of person, you would have been gone already.
Right. And I'm just sitting there. I'm standing there.
Shit, if you was Island Dawk, you'd have been gone. When she'd have said he left, I'd have said he sure did. Where he at?
Nah, that Chicago got cameras everywhere.
Yeah, you probably can't get away.
If I'd have left, I'd have went to jail. And then the cop, he's standing there. Then there's more black women walking up going, now that I'm no longer angry, this is the funny part. I walk up to the ambulance because the fire department come. The ambulance come. It's a doctor standing there. He said, wiggle your toes. He said, I'm a doctor. Let me examine you. The white lady, super Karen, she, don't touch her. I'm like,
oh my goodness. Wow.
Wiggle your toes. She wiggled her toes. I said, okay. You sitting up, you wiggled your toes, you're not paralyzed. Let me go on across the street because you ain't gonna die.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there like this. The other officer come over because I walk up to the officers when they get there. I say, hey man, I'm the cause of this. This is my ride. I'm gonna stand next to it. I said, all I need, let me parallel park a little better so I'm not in traffic. So he said, okay, cool. And I'm standing there. He said, hey, what happened? I said, hey, man, blah, blah, blah. He said, hey, man, relax, bro. It happens all the time. It ain't that bad. He said, it ain't that bad. Don't even worry. I said, my man, I'm standing there, me and him talking. This black lady, another black lady walks up. Can I talk to you away from me? Away from me? Who are you? He walks down talking to this lady. He did it. He was like, he said that.
Yeah, he said
it. Another sister who was talking to me before they got there, young man, that was not your fault. She was in your blind spot. Da, 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 da. The police show up. See, he turned and then she flew in the air. Don't help no more. It was no one was in the air. I don't need no more help.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need you to cayete pendejo.
Right.
They hot. Man, your boy.
Wow.
I'm moving. Hey, the Texas HRap thing. Once I get out of this, I'm on the run.
On the
run. Well, like on this show, like we said,
black shirt on, man.
It's stuff like that. Stuff like that happen all the time. Now, and the thing is, like you said, you stayed. You made sure the person was okay. You didn't just run off and leave.
Right.
You were talking to the cops, so it wasn't as if you were trying to be deviant or say I didn't do it.
Hey man, I gotta go.
Yeah. On that note, I got it.
Yeah.
But he's doing church.
Well, take as much time telling these stories as you want, because apparently everybody hated the movie, so we needed some stuff to talk about anyway.
Not me.
This movie was gonna get a double bag of doodle from me. Only thing worse than this movie was hitting that lady today.
Oh man.
Let's give some shout outs here. We got
first you gotta get Chief Rocker, who say you don't take Mad Dog to the Hennessy Park. You're right, Chief.
2020.
You got Chief in the building. If you're tuning in on the Facebook group, the BS3 Radio Facebook group, you do have to follow some directions or it won't show your face. I know who that is though. That's my boy Jason from college. We called him Jay, and I guess he went to his government name when it came to the Facebook. But shout out to him.
He had some warrants out back then. So.
Jay Adams, he's out of Buffalo. He lives in Arizona now. But shout out to him.
All right.
Golden Brooks, appreciate you. Big Illinois in the building.
Yeah.
Raider Kev. Can definitely check out his YouTube channel. Also, continue prayers for your wife. It sounds like some good reports, so that's a good thing.
That's a good deal.
Tan Rodriguez, thank you for tuning in. He does a volleyball podcast, and he's coming up on his 100th episode. So big shout out to you, man. Big shout out to you.
And it's called Set Point.
Set Point. Right. It's on Spreaker.com. All podcasting avenues you can find him.
Yeah.
Chief got everybody's name right. Let's give a round of applause.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hold on. Wilk.
No. See, both just
3 for 4.
This is how to eat. I take that.
Rucker Park.
Now.
Let's
see. Hold on, slow down. Let me check these bangs. Being bangs still rocking over
there. Sabrina Looney, thank you for coming through. I appreciate that nickname.
Oh yeah.
Incredibles. Laugh out loud, they was out to get you.
Yeah, talking about it.
Yeah. Rhonda, thank you for tuning in.
Rhonda.
Now, so the movie, No Sudden Move, it's on HBO Max. Now, a little bit of background on the movie. The director was Steven Soderbergh, who directed all of the Ocean movies. So Ocean 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever. I wasn't really that big of a fan of those. Also, he's used some of these same actors in a lot of his movies. So when you look at, Benicio del Toro and Cheadle, he's used them, Matt Damon, a lot of these same guys throughout his movie, throughout the time.
Yeah.
So, it was, for me, initial response, I was like, first off, what is really going on? Because I was confused. But as the movie went along, I thought it was entertaining and it was funny. For me, it was funny. I didn't really take it as a serious movie. I took it as it has some comedy and some comicalness to it. It was kind of that little bit of dark comedy. It had some guys that have been in mafia movies. Ray Liotta, of course, he's been in almost every single one. So that's my initial take. Wilks.
Man. Well, even from the intro, when Don Cheadle's walking down the street and I see the font, and I'm like, man, this is already feeling like Pulp Fiction. Like it's not going to be too serious. It's like a dramedy, I guess, if that's something I've heard before used, but I don't know. It definitely reminded me, and maybe I overthought it because I was trying to find connections to local mafia groups in that area of Detroit. I didn't know how this movie was going to go. I didn't do a lot of background check on it. Then I thought about the strikes with GM and Ford and Chrysler, the big three, and but no, the movie was, for what it was, I get it. It's set in that era. It's going to pull from other mafia or gangster type films, but a little comedy twist and somebody screwing somebody, and there's always a greater hand at work in the background. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's okay for what it is. I didn't have too big of a gripe on it.
Yeah, Don Cheadle in it at the beginning. I with him being in it, I was like, okay, it's got to be somewhat of quality. It can't be terrible with him.
Mm-hmm.
And real quick, I was gonna say after I watched this and what they did at the end with Don Cheadle, it kind of reminded me of Payback with Mel Gibson, because he just wanted his cut of the money. He didn't want all of it. He didn't want more. He just wanted his cut.
Good point.
All he really wanted is what it kind of reminded me of when I saw that.
Dawk, Ireland Dawk.
Yeah, I think I've proven over the course of the life of the Fourcast that I'm not so dogmatic about these movies as some of my cohorts here. No, I didn't have that big of a problem with it. I put it in its proper box. I was already excited because of the, one of the first notes I made was that it was a star-studded cast.
Mm-hmm.
When you got, Benicio del Toro, that's no slouch, right? Any sense of the imagination, that's a heavy hitter. Don Cheadle can be considered a heavy hitter now. Yeah. This dude's got major series on major networks like House of Lies. If you ain't checked that series out, do yourself a favor. Black Monday, about Wall Street. If you ain't checked that out, do yourself a favor. So the Don Cheadle ain't no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. Brendan Fraser, who done put on about 427 pounds.
What happened to him?
Ray Liotta. So this is a star-studded cast, and a lot of people don't know that Sebastian Stan, John Cena, Nicolas Cage, and George Clooney were supposed to be in it. But because of COVID, they pushed filming back from spring 2020 to autumn 2020, and they had scheduling conflicts, and they had to pull out, So for them to come up with a cast like this after that, I think it did, and I love the old school vibe of the movie. It's an older movie set in that day. So they filmed it intentionally, in my estimation, to kind of have that old school vibe to it, so where it could have been more action packed, and if it would have been set in 2021, you probably would have got an entire different feel,
Yeah.
And I think something that's really happening nowadays, the catalytic converters are getting stolen all over the place. If you're watching this and you hadn't had your catalytic converter stolen, or don't know somebody who have, and Trey, being from Cali, y'all been stealing catalytic converters since the 80s. So the fact that the catalytic converter is the center of this plot is significant, for me, because like my work vehicles, and I had a couple of them stolen this year alone, so it is a thing, and it was a thing then.
Yeah. All right, HRap.
Ben, back to you. See how this goes.
Okay. I kind of dug the nostalgic portion, and they do still Cadillac converters here in Chicago, even 6 months ago of one of my platforms.
Oh wow, 6 months ago.
But I couldn't. It was like Luke Vandross curl in the 80s. I wasn't feeling it. It was.
Come on, man.
It was like, we gonna make this like Pulp Fiction. They was pressing too hard to me, and I couldn't feel it. As a matter of fact, I've watched it 3 times, and I'm like, no.
Lauren Hicks, thank you for tuning in. Said good evening.
What's going on, Miss Hicks?
I'm kind of like HRap. I watched it, like I said, almost about 3 times. Maybe I was missing something. Maybe I was looking too much for it. I was trying to connect it to that era of Detroit, the mafias, the black mafias, the Jewish mafias. I guess I was looking for some kind of, was this based on something that actually, outside of the catalytic converter? But I don't know. But for what it is, it's in that category. It's in wherever that box is. It's in that box.
Now, when Bill Duke came on there, I thought Bill Duke died. Was that just me?
Yeah, because when they pronounced him dead.
I was like, did they shoot this movie before he died?
Bill Duke ain't dead, is he?
No, he was in the movie.
But there was, I feel like 2 years ago,
there was some report I thought that said that he died.
That he had died, but I think
he been looking like he in poor health since the 70s. What you talking about? But he plays an outstanding bad guy, don't he, man?
Yes,
he murdered the bad guy.
An outstanding bad guy.
He's been a hitman. He's been the bad guy. I mean, he's done his role.
He was Abdul and Kawash.
That's right.
He's played in a lot of roles, and he's been used. He's been used in a lot of the director's movies too.
Yeah, he's one of them cats that when he was 20, he looked like he was 60.
Yeah, like he's 160.
Yeah, that's about what he's looking like. All right, so kind of the cast, we already talked about it. Don Cheadle as Kurt, Benicio del Toro as Ronald, Kieran Culkin. I knew the guy looked familiar. That's Colleen McCulkin's brother, and then David Harbour as Matt. Did
Michael Jackson know him too, or he only knew Macaulay?
He was probably over there too on the roller coaster.
What HRap? You had a problem with that question?
That was hilarious.
They was there together. Now, kind of a side note: if nobody's seen Sicario, I think is the name of that movie. Oh my God! They
got to give me a third one. They got to give me a
please. We're going to be reviewing that one for sure if they come out with it. I don't know. All right, so the movie's kind of starting. Obviously, Don Cheadle's walking away from the prison as he's walking to, I guess, wherever the spot is that he hangs out. Immediately, he's already asking questions like he has somewhere to go. Yeah. And he grabs his gun and he ends up kind of heading over to I believe it was Benicio del Toro's house, if I'm not mistaken. Which, if y'all correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, who was heading over there?
Don Cheadle was heading over to, I think, Benicio del Toro's house.
He met with Brendan Fraser first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or either Mums the schemer, that black dude who told him that he had a gig for him. Remember?
That's right.
Right.
He was the black dude first, and the black dude was to meet with Brendan Fraser.
That's right.
And then they went and got Benicio del Toro.
So yeah, the actor's name is Mums the schemer, but his name in the movie was Jimmy.
Yeah.
So he met with him first.
Yeah. And it seemed like early on, nobody wanted to deal with Frank. Whoever the Frank character was, we didn't know who Frank was until kind of later on in the movie.
Yeah.
But obviously they were kind of right, exactly. Obviously they were kind of plotting together to conspiring together to do something. And let's kind of go to the mask. That was the most hilarious part of this whole.
So weak.
Horrible. And then he has the mask on and he like sticks the gun underneath there to like scratch. He's like, that was hilarious.
The funniest part when he put the sheet over the lady head.
I know, that's
so he can take the mask off for a little bit.
Hands down, that's the funniest part of the entire movie when he said, "Hey, I need to relax."
Yeah.
Put a sheet of cover over her head and had a drink.
And Don Cheadle was like, "You having a good time, man?"
So, and I think one of the interesting parts of this in the movie, the three of these guys did not know each other, right? I mean, I think they was interesting. They heard exactly. They heard of each other, but they didn't know each other. So they're all basically getting clumped together for some plan that they don't really know anything about. And then as they get into the plan and they just kind of walk up in this this family's house in suburbia, right, Detroit, basically, like just act like your day's normal. And she's like, "Well, what do you mean? Like you got a gun and you come in here?" So I'm thinking like, is there something in that? So I want to get you guys' thoughts at that moment. Are you thinking there's something in the house that they want, or do you think there's a kind of a deeper meaning to it? Dawk, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, no, I kind of knew right away that there was nothing in the house because leading up to it, they had told him this is a babysitting job, basically, So I knew that they were going to be kind of babysitting. I didn't know who was going to be taken out of the house or if it was going to be all of them were going to be held hostage. I didn't know they were going to be taking the dad out, basically. So no, it wasn't strange to me that most of the action took place, on the way to the job and at the office and that kind of stuff. So no, it made sense to me.
Yeah. Wilks?
No, for me, I mean, I thought maybe somebody was going to show up. Maybe they were trying to if there was a business partner that was going to come with some kind of, information, and they were going to ambush him. That's what I was thinking. But I guess, like you said, it's more of a babysitting job, and we're going to use your family as leverage, and we need you to do a favor for us. If you don't, we're going to have to kidnap or hurt somebody. So it was one of those things where I thought maybe somebody was coming over to talk business, or maybe they were going to exchange, and in the middle of exchanging, they were going to jump that person to, get that information. But that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. HRap?
Yeah, it was kind of strange for them to go there first. I thought I would have assumed that they'd grab somebody, like grab the husband and say, "Hey, we have your family," but I didn't think it would be at the house. And when they brought him to the house, I was wondering what. I'm like, "Dog, what's at the house?"
Mm-hmm. Why was that the starting point?
Yeah.
And I guess because they was trying to catch the guy before he went to work, so they can, like, you're getting ready to go into work anyway. Why don't you go ahead and get this?
Right.
But the quirkiness of them really not on the same page, I think, was funny. McCulkin was kind of like the leader, and he was like the small, scrawny kid. Like, you got this guy as he had more details, right, kind of as you get further along.
Because because it turned out he was the only one that was not being set up.
Right.
John Cheadle's character and Benicio del Toro's characters were being set up, so that's why he had more details.
Yeah. And so, a kind of a funny moment when the neighbor. When the neighbor comes to the door for the carpool, trying to make sure everything's okay and what's going on. So I mean, they had to act like they were under pressure, but like the mom was telling the son, like they have masks on, so they're not trying to kill us or something to that degree that she said. So it was kind of like they knew in their roles that like this wasn't going to end badly because we're not really the end goal. The end goal is somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah. So now David, who's played by David Harbour, who's playing Matt.
Matt Works.
Ends up going to the office, and then you find out that he's been sleeping with his secretary, which is kind of a wrench in the plan. Yeah. Well, kind of a wrench in the movie because you're thinking, oh, that's just. And they had a plan.
Right. That's the wrench.
Yeah.
It's not the wrench that he was
didn't find that out.
Right.
Exactly.
The wrench was they was trying to do the thing themselves.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't tell her yet. Well, about that.
He's like, let's put that on pause because I need a file that I need to find. And then he's all scrambling around trying to find it. But so that there was cliffhangers, if you will, in the movie at different points in times, and then it kind of started to tie together. But the way they tied it together was kind of intertwining.
Well, let me back up on something real quick because remember we're the Fourcast, so we don't review movies the same way, and we glossed over this part way too much in the beginning. When Benicio del Toro and Don Cheadle are getting in the car together, Don Cheadle is already in the back seat. Benicio del Toro is like, I want to sit in the back.
Right.
So they're like, well, sit in the back then. And so he's like asking Don Cheadle, hey, I need to get in the back. No. Do you mind sitting up front? And Don Cheadle said, yeah, I do. I want to sit in the back myself because it's a known thing from a mafia standpoint that if you sit in the front seat, you may get clipped from that spot. So Don Cheadle's like, okay, well, I'm going to scoot over then. And Benicio del Toro going to do his thing and going to wipe the seat off. There's a black dude just sitting there. Right. And he found out he's in. He's like, what is he doing here? And stuff like that. And he's like, I'm concerned he's going to be the one to mess it up. And then Don Cheadle say something else later on. And he's like, well, it's not your fault. You were born that way. So they were really doing their thing to really focus on the Italian black situation that used to take place all the time back then.
That's a good point. That's a great point. HRap, you wanted to?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that same thing because he, like what he said, I was gonna bring that up. You were born that way. And he was like, and then he was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And that's when you found out who Frank was.
Right.
Well, no, it's Frank involved. No, we said Frank ain't involved.
Yeah.
And that was like I said, man, it was too many plots.
Now, but see, that's the thing, though. Think about it this way: we've reviewed movies to where we didn't think the plot was thick enough, right? We didn't think they did enough job on the plot. I like that aspect of the fact that they kept you guessing to a certain extent. It was a puzzle that you were having to put together as you went along,
Right.
And then there was comedy to go along with it, right? So while you're trying to figure it out, somebody will do something funny or say something funny, you know, to kind of keep you engaged. So that's why I put it in that box. I didn't put it in this serious movie, you know, category, you know, so to speak. So, but like I said, I just don't think we can overlook the racial component of it at all. And David Harbour himself, he's been in a lot of movies. He's no slouch either. You know, we talk about the star-studded cast. You know, he's not as recognizable, but he's one of those kind of people that when most people see him, they're like, "Oh, I done seen that dude in something." You know, you don't know what it is, but you done seen him in a lot of stuff. You know.
Yeah, he's been in quite a few. I think he's in the new. Is that him that's in the Black Widow?
Yes.
Yo, so he's in the Marvel universe too. Hellboy. I kind of remember him from that.
Yeah.
Equalizer.
Yeah, he was the Equalizer, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
And Stranger Things, if you watch that.
there you go. That's right.
yeah. So I mean, this isn't like guys that they just put together. Even the kids, the teenager, the boy in the movie,
Yeah,
he's been in a couple of different things I've seen.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Matthew.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My name's Matthew. Yeah.
Matthew.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he ends up getting the file, even though it's not the actual file.
Right.
He's trying to get it. he played a guy that basically didn't pull the trigger because he could have been gone already.
Right.
But he had the family at home in the secretary at the office
Because of the birdhouse or whatever it was. Apparently that project messed his whole plan up.
Yeah.
You got to help his daughter. You wasn't thinking about your daughter when you were knocking the secretary down.
Exactly. So he ends up getting the file. He had 30 minutes to go get it. And then Charlie, which is Karen Culkin, like his character from the jump was annoying me. I don't know about y'all. I was just like,
I
think that was the point.
That's right.
Somebody shoot this kid. And guess what? Somebody shot that kid.
Yeah.
He's in a hurry.
Yeah. So y'all said that was the point.
I think that was the point. You gotta have that one to kind of bring that. If you got the two serious guys, you got to bring the guy that's kind of always, I got an idea, I got a plan, but I don't know how well it's gonna go. But he's just so quick and he doesn't think.
That's right. He flies by the seat of his pants a lot. Is what he looks like. Like he was a scatterbrained, and you know, and then it comes together to find out he's got more information than anybody. Like if you're gonna give anybody more information, why this dude? You know,
really,
or whatever. You know, but he, according to the plan, he was supposed to be the only one of the three that walked away.
Right.
You know.
Right. All right. So they end up going back to the house. They get the file, but we figure out that it's not the. Now, did they figure out it wasn't the file before?
Nope, not into, because remember he delivered the file to Brendan Fraser's character, and then they drove off. So he goes back to the house. Then Brendan Fraser's character start calling the house trying to get a hold of the cat. Right. That's when stuff kind of gets tense. Yeah. You know, he points the gun at the like he goes, okay, I'm gonna go and shoot him. You know, because that's basically what Brendan Fraser is telling him to do. Yeah. And that's when Don Cheadle stepped in, like, no, you ain't shooting nobody today, and popped it, you know. So
about that bread.
Yeah.
Now, did I'm wondering, did Brendan Fraser gain that much weight for this role? Because I haven't seen him in stuff in a while.
That's why
I think he's. I think he's
take it from a big dude. You know, I know the difference between I put this on for this movie and shit. I'm just happy.
I just been eating.
Right. Exactly.
No, I mean, steak and shakes.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's some months and years to put on.
Yeah, when I seen him, I was like, I had to pause a couple times to say, like, was this him?
Yeah, that wasn't the Brendan Fraser from The Mummy. Let's just say that.
No.
That was the Brendan Fraser with the Mummy.
So they get back to the house. They end up shooting Charlie. Charlie's basically dead on the floor in this suburban house with the kids in the other room. And so then, kind of to where you talked about, Dawk, Brendan Fraser calls, and Don Cheadle picked up the phone. Was it Don? Yeah, Don Cheadle picked up the phone. He was like,
but remember, first he put on Charlie, right? The guy, the dad.
All right, yeah.
He put him on first and says, I can't remember what he said, but he was basically saying that he wasn't available or whatever. So then he's like, okay, put on the other guy, whatever. And that's when he put Don Cheadle on, and he goes, he's indisposed. And then he wanted to talk to Benicio del Toro, and that's when it was tense because Don Cheadle was like, okay, you either going to roll with me and put him off for a little while, or you're going to tell him I shot him and it's going to blow this whole thing up, Right. And fortunately, Benicio del Toro's character was like, no, he's not available right now,
Yeah.
So, but what I liked about that whole scene is the fact that Don Cheadle took charge. Mm-hmm. He took charge of that stuff, that situation. He already had a plot and a plan. Like, this how we finna get out of this. Right. Like he was already working that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. That's what I really liked about Don Cheadle's character, because he walked in the door as of the very moment they said his name. He knew this ain't right.
Right.
I need my money. Y'all beat me out of my money for whatever reason. I just want my money and I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the way he walked through the entire flick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give me my money, and I know ain't none of y'all to be.
And he had a reputation already, right? Like he said, like the Culkin's character basically saying, "Oh, you're such and such," and he was like, "Yeah, that's who I am." He was like, "You're Kurt,"
Right.
And so Benicio del Toro's character was like, "What? Kurt, what's that?" And he started talking about he had got the upper hand on Frank before then and got this book with all this information, right? So he had one-upped him already, which is what got his reputation, and which is why nobody wasn't going to touch him in a legitimate way, because they knew if that information gets out, we all going down.
We all going down.
Yeah.
Right.
So he had proven to be the smartest guy in the room before.
Yeah. And to HRap point, the opening scene, he was like on a mission. Like it wasn't like, oh, I need to go get something to eat first. It was like, nah, I need to go get my gas.
That's why it reminded me so much of The Payback with Mel Gibson, because as much as they were trying to off Mel Gibson, he's like, man, y'all, I just want my cut. I'm not trying to take the whole score. I just want my money, my cut, and I'm out. Y'all can do whatever y'all want.
And remember, didn't Don Cheadle's character, wasn't he was talking about he wanted to just go buy some land or something like that?
Yeah,
he was really trying to get out the game, right?
Missouri. St. Louis or something like
that. He was trying to get out.
Yeah. So in comes John Hamm. Was he because we were
star-studded cast? There you go again. Forgot about him.
Was he a detective? He played a detective, but later on, he kind of seemed like he was working with.
Oh, he was a dirty cop.
Oh, that's
a dirty cop.
Yeah,
simple as that. He's a dirty cop.
And I just realized I didn't even think about this until we just mentioned his name. This role is perfect for him because if he's in Mad Men, he just fits right into it because he's been Mad Men so long in that era.
This is the perfect role for him. That he was. I wouldn't want anybody else to play that role.
Perfect.
Maybe
the way he was breaking that kid down, the way he was noticing that whenever there are inconsistencies in their stories, he played it perfect, man.
Yeah.
But I dig John Hamm from Mad Men anyway, so he can do no wrong in my eyes on the screen. So
he's got some versatility too, because he was in he's been in some comedies too.
That's right.
Yeah. A few. So so he
that fits any role he's in though. His aura is whatever is calls for on the screen.
Yeah. Which is the quintessential great actor vibe,
Exactly. You can fit in whatever role you need to be put in. So he kind of ends up breaking down, asking everybody questions. The teenager then kind of hold on. They end up going over to the neighbor's house or a friend's house or something. Right. And immediately they're all like hate Matt. Immediately they're like Matt, and Matt did kind of have a cowardly role in this because there was a lot of moments that he could have stood up and did something, and he didn't. He didn't stand up for his wife or his mistress. So.
Right.
I just want out of this, man.
I just want to go home.
Well, before we get to how weak he was, one other aspect of the Black Italian thing that I forgot to mention is the pay difference between Don Cheadle's character and Benicio del Toro. There was $2,500 difference. And back then, at $2,500, that was a lot of money. Yeah. So Don Cheadle getting paid $5,000 for the job, Benicio del Toro getting paid $7,500 for the job.
Yeah, right.
So that again, they went a long way to try to make sure you understood the difference between black folks and anybody else back then.
We're not going to stray too far from what it was.
Right.
Even in the murder, the contract. That was the only time Don Cheadle came out on top in regards to the money because they wanted $45,000 for Don Cheadle to be dead, and they said, "Hey, it's $4,000."
Oh yeah, at the table when they were talking at the restaurant.
Right, right. And that was the interesting dynamic of the movie because at some point you were like, "Oh, they're working together," and then you kind of knew, like deep down, like they're really not working together because they hate each other. Right. Like they hate the existence of each other because one's black and one's white. So then you get kind of further along and you figure out they're not working together. They're really working apart from each other. So John Hamm kind of comes in asking questions. He gets a teenage son who didn't already like his dad. And I don't think that was a part of it, but his story was already faulty. Yeah. So he kind of stepped in and
so you were talking about how they hated when they were at the neighbor's house. Everybody hated his character, right? Well, that's because this is one of the funniest parts too. Is that at the beginning they were talking about how they intimated that he was sleeping with the secretary anyway. Remember, he goes, "I don't have the combination to the safe." They say, "Yeah, but you got the combination to the secretary." And so then the camera pans to his wife, and his wife is just looking his direction, and he immediately says, "Can we talk about this with my son in the other room?" And that's when they finally told his son to get out of there.
That's a good
point.
So
So when she went to the neighbor house, you were left to assume she told the neighbor, "Girl, he's sleeping with the secretary." And the neighbor's husband was annoying.
Oh, right? He was.
I'll get out.
He just kept talking. His wife was on the phone, I think, with Matt at one point. And he's just chomping in the background. But that was.
Now, so tell me this: what about the dynamic between the neighbor and the wife? Because she talked about something going on. That's right. She talked about them going out of town as a girls' trip, and the wife was like, "Yeah, try to sell that." So I was talking to somebody who knew we were reviewing this, and she was saying, "Hey, I think the neighbor and the wife had something going on."
I agree.
I agree. On the phone, she was caping way too hard.
Right.
At that time, and
right.
Because when I was
pretty much everybody was out of pocket,
basically, except the kids.
Well, the kids were snitching, and the little girl was gonna be a heroin addict.
Wow.
That's my focus down the road. Wow. The little girl gonna be crazy, man. The girl is gonna kill somebody.
They were setting up for it. Yeah.
And then hold on, kind of rewind back when
that's Harley Quinn right there. Yeah.
Was that Don Cheadle that was in there, or was that Benicio del Toro when he was like, "Hey, you wanna?" What he said, "You want to go play too, or you want to go to your mom too?" She was like, "Nah, I'm good." So she was already.
I think it was Don Cheadle. I think he was with the kids. I think
Cheadle. Yeah, just let the little boy go out, go see his mother. And she was like, "No, I'm cool." She was playing with the blocks.
Yeah.
So see, that's another thing about it, right? So we already talked about Don Cheadle was proven to be the smartest guy in the room, right? He had already got over once. He was sharp on when things started to turn. He was already, let's figure this out. I got to know where I'm going. And then he was the only one that was sympathetic and empathetic to the kids, in the family situation. And that's the whole reason he shot old boy. It's because he was finna start killing folks. And he's like, "That's not what we signed up for. Right. We were here to babysit." So he was the only one to show he had a moral compass in the thing.
Yeah.
So the lady that Don Cheadle went to visit, was that his old flame or ex-wife?
Yeah, that's another good aspect.
And that was his. I think that was his baby.
Her husband.
That was, you know what?
Okay.
That was
That's what I thought.
No. See, I thought
I think that was somebody.
They said check the wedding rings out. They like she had the apron on, wedding ring. He had the wedding ring on. He just looked a little older than she did.
Yeah.
But that's her new dude.
No, I'm talking about. I thought that was Don Cheadle's daughter.
Oh, quite. Oh, what, the one he was talking to?
I thought that was her husband, and like he was the deadbeat father-in-law.
Oh,
because the baby in the background was perfect. Was kind of perfect timing, and Don Cheadle even kind of was like, "Oh,
yeah."
Like, I think that was his baby
too. When he went to jail. That was his old flame.
Yeah, I feel like
that's why she was asking questions that if I'm your new husband, you shouldn't have been asking. Like how now I heard you knifed him the first day, and then what was it like in there? So she was asking questions from a standpoint like I care, like I used to be your lady, like I care, kind of situation.
Yeah, because all of a sudden Don Cheadle looked 3 days older than baseball. So
now
that threw me off, man. When he went there and he had the suitcase, I was thinking,
she kept the suitcase for him. That's another thing. That's a classic. My lady, when I would go to the joint, my lady keeping my stuff that I need to get when I get out.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. Yeah, I felt like that was an old flame.
And the dude's response was like, "Hey, man, you know you're not welcome around here no more. Y'all not together no more. So why are you coming over here?" But he was still kind of.
But he knew the deal. I know you got the suitcase. I'm gonna let you get the suitcase, but I don't want to hear from you no more, man.
Right? Don't come around here.
And it's so funny that when he handed him that suitcase, my grandfather has a suitcase just like that.
Really?
Still have that same suitcase. I was like, that must have been a popular suitcase back then.
Yeah, they only had 3 suitcases all together. What you talking about? Popular. That's all they could get.
That's all you get.
That's Samsonite, that gray Samsonite.
That Samsonite
looking joint. Yeah.
With
the wheels on the bottom.
Yeah.
Now going back to the wife and the neighbor, I think she was done with. I think she was done with the marriage, but also I think she was like, I would love to run away with you, but that can't happen. I think for 2 reasons. Definitely the time that they were in.
That's it.
And then they didn't work. So what was they gonna do?
Yeah. How we gonna survive? That's right.
Yeah.
And that explains why the husband was so irritated.
Right, because he could be.
Yeah. All right, so Kurt, Ronald, and
we're not gonna do no beauty of the week this week.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Excuse me,
like
sir.
2 weeks worth of them.
You probably got a list.
I'm not talking about them beauties. I'm talking about. See,
you have a list like this.
Them was beauties. Them was booties. But anyway, just kidding. These are jokes. This is a podcast. We're professionals. No, my beauty of the week. It was a toss up between Frank Capelli's wife, who was cheating with Benicio del Toro,
Ronald,
the secretary, right? The blonde.
Yeah.
And my pick goes to Mrs. Frankie Shaw, who played Paula Cole, the secretary that was getting done. Hey, bruh, I don't recommend this at home that you do your secretaries, but if you got to do one, I understand. I don't condone it, but I understand.
Oh man,
maybe it's not biased. I was hoping you was gonna pick the sister
Julia Fox
suitcase.
The sister with the suitcase.
She was bad, Jack.
I didn't know she was that thick.
Yeah. She was.
She was, but I didn't like the fact she got with the old boy. That kind of turned me off with it because she was with looked like somebody Papa. So
well, look, she was with him for gains. She was not with him because he was attractive. She was with him because he was trying to get to the end goal.
Even more reason.
Yeah.
All right, so the missed meal cramps.
And the fact that she was getting beat.
Right. What did
he say?
He
said the missed meal cramps have you dating anybody.
Oh, yeah.
telling me, oh boy.
Me and Nathaniel is hungry.
Man. Hey, I'm handsome, but this money make me gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that was in one of the opening beginning scenes of Julia Fox. I don't know what her name.
I think it's Julia Fox.
That was in the movie. Yeah, she kept calling him Ronald. That part annoyed me. No, Ronald, don't do that, Ronald. I was like, just call the dude Ron and call it a day. Stop calling him Ron. But yeah, her verse was annoying. So I think you made a good pick, dog.
Yeah, which her too. She was double crossing him.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't find out to the end.
You find out to the end, right? So Kurt, Ronald, and Matt go to Matt's boss's house, which was another that whole scene.
I'm about to punch you. This is gonna be a punch. But I love my job.
I love my job.
I'm gonna punch you.
Don't fire me, please. I'm about to punch you in the nose right now. Coming close to your face right now.
Oh, my goodness.
And that whole scene with them coming in there, the older lady's like, "What's going on?" And it's like, just have a seat. This will be over with. They were so smooth with it, man. It'll be over with in a minute. Just not.
How was Matt trying to keep his job after all the stuff he was doing?
I don't know.
I think that was part of the funny, so to speak. You know, right. They didn't seriously think he was, but that
was his stick. Yeah. He felt like me doing this would help, and it didn't at all. So shout out to Vince Wright, sports governor of Minnesota. Thank you for tuning in. So they end up going in there, and Kurt and Ronald didn't want to go up there at all because obviously Matt knew him. So he goes in there, he gets the foul. Matt punching his boss, which I thought that was hilarious. Also, the blanket being put over the older ladies.
Sweet punches.
It was like, I need to take this mask off. I'm gonna just put this over your head for a minute.
Benicio del Toro's character got to have a drink everywhere he got.
Everywhere,
my man.
Dude, he just had like cups reappear. Oh, he had that glass.
It was the same glass.
He took it with him.
Oh, okay.
He took it when he left their house. He took it.
Then he got the flask in the jacket.
He had the flask in the jacket. Yep. Which that is a very interesting point. That flask in the jacket, which we'll get to that in a minute. But I put down the movie was hilarious, man. Like I was laughing at every different scene that they had. It was something funny. And I love the old cars, and maybe I wanted to kind of touch on this. You have a movie that's based in 1954, and you're gonna have to, you gotta change things. You gotta get cars. Like, to me, I'm amazed at how they're able to put together a movie and find all of these different cars and all of this different stuff. So I don't know if that was in Wilks, you kind of being a car guy. You see anything there that kind of caught your eye?
I saw a few cars there that actually I've seen in some of my family photos. Standing out in front of the house in South Dallas taking pictures, but also too how significant those cars were to those times. Whether your granddad or your dad worked on that assembly line and put some of those together, but when I see stuff like that, you kind of wonder, like, are they donated by people that own those cars? Are they from historic museums? But no, it's always awesome to me when I see when they do things like that. But now saw a few Dodges in there, a few Mercurys were in there. It was pretty nice to see that. So it was pretty nice. It was awesome kind of seeing it. And it's so weird, like that car has no power steering, and you're driving that car big, and that steering wheel is big as the inside of the car. And they just speeding down the road. I'm like, man, that thing don't stop. Don't stop on a dime, man.
10 and 2.
Yeah.
10 and 2, baby.
Yeah, I'm sure with Hollywood.
Like their steering wheel so big.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure with Hollywood they have a just like with any type of props and stuff like that, they got probably a warehouse full of old cars. Yeah. They probably even got mechanics that will switch engine from car to car to get them working. They probably do some leasing from some vintage car places. It's probably a combination of whatever is necessary to get the job done, depending on the budget of the film.
And now that Dawk mentions that, I mean, just think about how they probably, hey, I need a few of these cars restored. I'm sure They got guys
I'm sure
around the clock.
Oh yeah,
You know,
on the set. Yeah, on the set.
I mean, yeah, if you think about
like
the
that.
Judas and the Black Messiah and some of the
God.
other One Night in Miami and
Yeah.
all these other films that, you know, they shoot. That's probably the least that they were is just finding the vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, to be able. It's probably the set manager or somebody like that. That's part of their responsibility, and they got all kind of connects. You know, that's the way they're gonna get that at.
And then and another part with Matt with the car is that another funny moment. I don't know if it was Kurt and Ronald that was like, "Hey, we like your car, so you got to take the other one. We about to ride off."
I consider that a fatal flaw though, because
in Matt,
no. When they let him take the car, remember they said, "Hey, you go back and get the paperwork." When Don Cheadle and Matt left, Don Cheadle, Matt, and Benicio del Toro left, and then they kept the car. They sent Benicio.
Oh, gotcha.
The car.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of silly too.
Because you mean to tell me the police don't notice that y'all got more than one car?
Right.
You got a 2-car garage in the 50s,
Right.
for no reason at all.
Yeah.
It's just something me and my son, when we watch movies, we always look for the wildly inconsistent situation. Like it was this one movie from the 50s, and they had a Starbucks cup in it once.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah. They did that in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
They had a Starbucks cup get shown up on one of the tables.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have that stuff. They post that stuff all the time on Facebook where they go from one scene to the other, and then you can tell the difference.
Stuff is different. Yeah.
Yeah. Tyler Perry did it in one of his movies recently.
Who?
Tyler Perry. There was some movie he came out with.
Mike Jones. If you want to see a horrible movie that they are just ratchet at that changing, it's this movie called Fat Beach. It go from day to day, and the fat dude from what was the movie Juice, the one who got shot at the end.
Sam's.
3 different hairstyles.
Wasn't that Sam's?
Sam's had a high top fade in one, a Caesar and another.
Ben, you remember Sam from church, Ben?
Oh yeah.
You with me and
Ben
Ben went to church with a guy that looked just like Sam.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And we called him Sam.
Sam's. Yep.
We didn't know his last name. We didn't know his real name.
He didn't know his real name. His first name, his middle name.
6 years with him, didn't know his real name.
We didn't know a whole lot to do with real names.
I used to work with a guy looked like Big Worm. I'm gonna tell y'all what we used to call him after
Big
work.
Perm.
We used to call him Big Worm. We used to call his boy something else. I can't say it on air without the LGBTQ people.
Wow. And I support them, not you, HRap.
So we end up finding out that Matt had a plan with the secretary. Yeah, I think he ended up going to the hotel. She was staying at, what did she say it multiple
The
times?
Humpty Dumpty
Dumpty.
Because she told her husband, they both were supposed to tell their spouses, look, we out.
Follow through.
Yeah. So she tell her husband, he started crying. She got to go spend the night at the Humpty Dumpty Hotel. And Matt, working on a birdhouse project, ain't told nobody nothing.
Right.
And she went straight sister mode. You got me over here staying at the Humpty Dumpty?
Right.
I had to cut you up.
Yeah, I done rented a car already.
Right.
Had a house in California.
Right.
She had all types of plans. And she ended up going with, what was that guy's name? She ended up going with his coworker. I don't forgot what the guy's name was.
I didn't jot his name down.
It was Johnny or Lonnie or something. The dude had a sweater vest like Mr. Rogers, and she ended up going with him instead.
She gonna get paid one way or another.
Yeah.
That's Dawk home.
So we kind of learned also around that same time that Kurt had a plan to just get away. We were talking about Kansas City is where he wanted to go.
That's right.
He had a plan. Was he talking about opening? He just wanted to have land, really, right?
I thought he did.
I don't know if he mentioned anything about maybe he did, maybe I missed it, but he just wanted to have the land. Now he might have had another idea or a plan, I should say, what he wanted to do with that land, but I don't
remember that piece.
And then it gets to the point where I had down is Kurt and Ronald working together or apart, because Ronald ended up going to Ray Liotta's spot like, hey, I know Kurt's got this plan. I know I did you dirty before. Help me get out to Vegas. I think he was saying to get me back in the game, coach.
Yeah, so because Don Cheadle's character, Kurt, sent him there. They were in agreement there. Yeah. But when Benicio del Toro got there, he flipped the script on what he told him. Mm-hmm. He gave him the rundown on what he was supposed to do, but he's like, hey, Kurt wanted me to do this, but I think we can do this and get it done. So he sold him out right then and there.
Yeah.
And then Frank pulled the player move like, yeah, I know you might want to get checked. Like, nah, that wasn't me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you just suspect something and you start telling them, oh, she done already told me. Right. Hoping you're gonna give it up.
You'll give it up anyway. Yeah.
She's just out of my league anyway.
Yeah.
And then he told her and said, oh, he told me already. And she's like, I wouldn't do that. And she's like, hey, he just told me. And then she gave it away because when he took that one step, she immediately took off. Boy, like,
she was like, no, Frank, no. And then he beat her.
Beat her down.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, punching him.
But it cost him his life later.
It did. So they end up going into, I think the next scene, they end up going to this meeting at this restaurant. Big boy,
Fraser.
The mummy, the guy that played the mummy. He comes in with the gun on the table. They all basically talking about what they're gonna do, and they all are not even on the same page. And they end up kind of running out of there, and that whole plan basically blew up. So now nobody's really getting anything at this point.
And he was playing, because Ray Liotta's character was Frank was gonna screw him over anyway, because in the bag the money was shredded or whatever that was shredded.
It wasn't money, it was paper.
Just the paper was shredded.
Yeah. And so Ronald was basically gonna die eventually because he just seemed to. He's sleeping with the guy he wants to get an opportunity from, girl, and then he's trying to turn on Kurt, and Kurt is a lot smarter than he is. So it was like eventually he was gonna die.
Yeah, he was trying to off too many people at the same time.
Right.
Hey, man, when did Don Cheadle get all that damn money? Remember he was in the attic and he was paying dude.
I don't know.
He got that from didn't he get that from that guy who was trying to stop the information from going public, right?
No,
he hadn't even talked to him yet.
Okay.
Remember,
Bill Duke ended up showing him off.
They went from the house to the place with the attic where he was sleeping. Dude was like,
oh,
hey, man,
well, so Don Cheadle had some money already. Remember, he just needed in the movie he was talking about. I only need XYZ more amount of money before I can buy this land. So he had some money already. Yeah, he wasn't broke.
And the cat he was saying it was funny too, because it was like, man, if you want to do this, you could do it or not. And it was like he started kind of handing out the money. He was like, man, I got a job, I got a job, I got a square biz now. I ain't messing with this no more. And he was like, how much I got to pay you? He was like, oh well, you're talking about money. I guess I can let this slide.
He said, how much you make a week?
Right.
Oh, right.
I make $11 a week, and then he was like
$3 times
$200.
Right.
Like, man, what, that's why I say, where Don Cheadle get this much money from?
Yeah, and it might have been some in that suitcase. So I'm thinking in that suitcase there was money along with that book that had all that information about folks.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking.
So was that book? Did he have? I was wondering that on that book did he have something against Bill Duke too, or was it just Frank?
No, I think it was all of them.
It was probably like
because remember that guy said if that book gets out, we all go down. Yeah, they had everybody's transactions, real names too. Because you remember Don Cheadle used to run numbers for Frank before he went to the pokey.
Yeah. So then Don Cheadle has a plan where everybody's gonna all kind of meet, and he ends up talking to the guy from was that General Motors.
Yeah, one or two. I don't know if it's Chrysler, General Motors. One or two.
He ended up talking to that guy. He ends up coming, and then Bill Duke Watkins. He ends up coming. We know Watkins too. Me and Dawk. He ends up coming, And then who else? It was somehow.
What Golden Brooks talking about?
Why y'all look so mean? What you mean? We've been smiling the whole time.
Y'all do Golden Brooks. Y'all know she's not the person to make that statement.
Okay. That is Golden.
I know Golden Brooks ain't saying that.
So basically, Kurt's got this master plan, partnering with Benicio del Toro, and then all of a sudden, Matt Damon comes out of nowhere. The dude hadn't been in the movie the first hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, and that's not the first time
who is?
Yeah, and that's not the first time he's been in movies like that, where it's like the movie is already 2 hours in, and the next 30 minutes, like, wait a minute.
And then he was, the part that confused me is he was talking to Kurt like he knew him, like they were friends or something. While Ronald was counting all the money. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, that part.
He was talking to him like because he recognized the move that he made. So they were talking from a position of respect, not of knowing each other. He was like, "Okay, tell me where I messed up at. Where you get the drop on me at, how you figure it out." So it was from a position of respect, is why he was talking to him that way.
And he was with Consolidated Cars Association, or I think is who. So basically, did the money start with him?
That's what
was he? Yeah,
he was representing the big guys who was trying to keep that information from going public. Because if it went public, then they were going to make it mandatory in all vehicles, which was going to cost the big four auto manufacturers revenue, because it's going to increase the cost of making vehicles. So they were trying to stop it from being released.
In a way, I guess he was kind of like the cleanup man.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's well said. That's exactly right.
Right. Mm-hmm. So Benicio del Toro's counting all the money.
So remember, we talked about ties between that and Pulp Fiction. So remember the wolf in Pulp Fiction? So that's basically who that was in this movie.
All right.
The guy, but he was just more buttoned up, suit and tie version. Yeah. But it was the same type of situation.
Yeah. So Matt Damon basically came in and made whatever he made. He talked for a couple minutes. Really, the last couple 30 minutes or so of the movie. Mm-hmm. So they're counting the money. I think Matt Damon ends up leaving, right? And then you have.
Hey, stop for a minute. Everybody smile, so Golden will be all right.
So they got the guy sitting in the lobby, I think whatever company he was with, and Watkins guy comes in like, "Hey, go ahead and get out of here, bro."
Right.
See you later.
I wanted to leave, man.
And so Watkins ends up coming upstairs, and then we kind of had that meeting, and then they end up all turning on Kurt.
Don Cheadle's character,
And then Ronald ends up walking out with all the money, we think.
Right.
We thought he did.
We thought he did. And he looking over his shoulder, you like, man, did I he don't even believe he got that. Yeah.
When he got back to the room with old girl, he like, you don't believe what just happened. I just made it. Did you get the money? I got that and some more.
Right. Dumping all the money out.
Yeah, on the bag.
Basically like put it in a bag and I'll meet you downstairs, basically, so how it's coming out. So they end up riding off, and obviously they're not about to ride off into the sunset, obviously.
Well, you missed when they about to walk out the room, she grabbed the bag, he like, no, I got that. Yeah, she was trying to take it there. He like, no, I got that bag.
Yeah.
So they didn't he trusted her, but she obviously was already had a different plan. But he just thought he was going to run away with the pretty lady, like Harlem Nights. I ain't coming home no more.
Yeah, about the same thing.
Put your mom on the phone. So he goes back to the Flask. They end up driving off, and she was driving or he was driving?
She was driving.
She was driving.
So I'm trying. Why they end up parking in the middle of? I guess that was her plan.
Remember, he thought somebody was following them, but I guess that was
Frank. Remember when they walking out of the hotel,
there was a guy.
Gone by then.
Frank was
that was
dead. It was a cop or a detective or something.
Yeah, because he wrote down.
He had a pad. Right, exactly.
I thought that was Frank.
Frank was Frank.
Yeah, Frank, because Veronica, Julia Fox already killed Frank because she was
So he was right in the fact that they were being followed, but she talked him out of it and said, "No, we're good."
Yeah,
and as soon as he pulled over,
and that flash saved him. Saved that one bullet. Didn't save the other.
Did the cop shoot him, or the person followed him, or they just?
I don't think they ever showed us that, did they?
Right, because I was like, well, who shot him?
They didn't show us that.
I thought it was Frank.
But
Julia Fox shot him.
No, he got shot.
Yeah, eventually. But we're talking about the one he survived.
Oh.
Right. He was this way, opening up the already open champagne.
Somehow, I think that was her. Now, I don't know how. Well, maybe he went through him and hit the flash.
It came from here,
right?
And then he reached. He was like, and then he
for a moment.
But he turned around though. He turned around.
I thought something that was set up in the champagne bottle because it came at such a weirard angle. I thought the champagne bottle was.
Like he would have thought it would have came through his coat jacket, and on the other side,
it was simultaneous though. It was as soon as that champagne bottle popped. That's when he got hit. And then he turned around and he was like, damn.
Maybe Dawk is right, because if you hold in the champagne bottle, you pop it and the bullet comes from the bottom of the champagne.
That's what I was thinking. That it was the champagne bottle was
real outside of the car.
Because remember, it was her that set that champagne bottle up and stuff. So I'm thinking it was rigged somehow, and it didn't work because it hit that flash. Right. And she like, well, shit, I'm gonna go and pop it. Then
he turned around, he was like, oh, I'm not.
I can't believe you did that.
That's probably not until like HRap, like he said. That's probably why it was half or it already opened because
That's exactly right. That's how I thought.
Because I'm like, what is it? A sniper somewhere out there? So because you could clearly see the champagne was open. Yeah, because it's never there without the.
The wrapping, foil stuff or whatever.
Yeah. So I thought Veronica was going to get away because there's no, there's no navigation system or no nothing to figure out where she was, but somehow that cop knew. I guess he was following.
Yeah, because who in the world did you call that quick?
Really, and he called her by name, so it was almost like he knew. Yeah. And maybe that was the guy that was writing it down.
Goes back to the wolf dude.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And that goes back to John Hamm, who then ends up eventually bringing the money back to where it all started. So the dude didn't lose nothing.
Why did you do that?
Yeah.
I didn't get that part.
He lost a little, Ben. He lost a little because remember it was $400K.
No, he got more.
Yeah, because
remember he only had paid $375, so he got that $375 plus the $31,000 that she had. So he actually got more money and he still only gave John Hamm like, okay, here's $500.
Yeah,
whatever. Go back to your regular dirty cop job. And I'm like, if you're a dirty cop,
he gave him like a bottle of wine or something. That was it.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
that's right. That's right. A bottle of wine. You're a dirty cop. You got $400,000. Man, take that money.
Man.
Now, before I kind of skipped over a very key part. Watkins, I think they're at the hotel at that time. Watkins comes downstairs with Kurt, and it's Kurt and John Hamm, and it's like, we can go about this one of two ways. Then he starts to spit the game like we can take care of this, or you can take care of this.
Right.
Either way, he's gonna end up dying.
Right.
So you're thinking. I'm thinking that Kurt's probably about to get thrown into the lake.
Kurt thinking that too.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Because think about the last words that he said to him. What made you trust him? How did you know you could trust him?
Yeah. I thought maybe he just changed. Oh yeah.
I thought he was trying to be very convincing to the guy you just let me take him and handle him,
Right. So Kurt, they end up taking him to the dock. And Bill Duke, was basically like, all right, you can.
I don't think Kurt knew to the end, man.
No, he didn't know at all. No.
I thought Kurt thought he was done.
I didn't think Bill Duke made that decision until then. I don't think it was something where he was just like,
yeah.
Well, dude,
to me, that's the point. Bill Duke making that statement. How did you know you could trust me? He said, "Look at me in my eyes. How did you know you could trust me?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, man, I think Don Cheadle said, I can't trust none of these white folks. The best way to go is with this black gangster."
Yeah.
Right.
And at least I can be on his team or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you put a bag of money in his hand, it's a great chance you're not gonna die.
Wilks smile. You don't know when they got a smile on your face.
I was probably thinking too far ahead because like they were saying about how did you know you could trust me? I started thinking, okay, but if he didn't have him off when he was in jail, I mean, how far is his reach? He could have offed him in prison.
I think so.
Yeah.
If he didn't feel like you didn't off me in prison, you didn't off me when they threw me away for however long I was gone.
Right.
At least I could probably get back out and just get my cut. And
make it right. Yeah.
Right. And
that's what I was thinking.
Shout out to Just Joe. My bad, I didn't do that. He jumped in, gave everybody else a shout out too. And Kurt was the only one that got away. Ronald died. Colin McCulkin, not Colin McCulkin, but the other McCulkin died.
Kieran Culkin. It's not McCulkin, it's just Culkin, man.
Michael Jackson died.
Michael Jackson.
Wow, man.
On that note.
Wow. He just flat out said it, man.
Wow.
Sorry, Michael Jackson.
Body shots.
I had a horrible day. You gonna have a
wow.
Rest in peace now.
Yeah.
He said, "Take that money."
Yeah.
You saw when he gave it to Kurt.
Oh man.
So Kurt was the only one that got away, and Veronica, they never really showed what happened to her, but she got away, but she ended up with nothing.
But I thought, wait a minute, when she shot Frank, there was some money in the suitcase and some other stuff. So I don't know if she had two suitcases because I didn't see the other because she was packing.
Well, remember, they were planning on running away together, right? So she had already she stole that when she killed Frank. She took that $31,000 from him. Yeah. Oh, so that's where she got that money from.
She ended up with nothing. Mm-hmm. So she was working at a diner or something, right? I guess go back to that job.
Yeah, she got away with murder.
Turn that car around.
Well,
double murder.
Yeah.
So overall, anybody got anything else they want to add on? We get right to the ratings.
Yeah, 3 mics.
2?
2.5?
5.
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
All right, Dawk, Island Dawk.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. But see, it's not a bad 2.5 if that makes any sense. I mean, it was still entertaining to me. I didn't walk away upset that I watched a movie or anything like that. It was worth my time. So, but I'm still happy with the 2.5 on it. maybe 2 3/4 or something like that.
I'm gonna agree with.
But I'm not going to disrespect our other movies that we've given 3 mics to, and give it 3 mics. I think that would be disrespectful. But I think 2.5 is probably where it needs to be.
I'm gonna agree with Wilks. I'm gonna go with a 3. I'm gonna go with 3 mics. I think the comedy to me would give it a 0.5. That 50 cents. So
for me, yeah, because like
I give you that.
Yeah, the 3 mics for me, like a kind of the Get Shorties and those other kind of cop drama.
Comparing them to those, you're right.
Yeah, I just feel like it's that type of movie. Like it's in that.
I can be talked into 3.
So, side note, Sicario 3 seems to be in the works. I don't know.
I gotta be honest with you, fellas, on this one. I done totally missed Sicario 1 and 2. I don't know what none of this about.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
I didn't even know those movies existed. I stumbled upon on Hulu.
Yeah, somehow I did too.
But yeah, no, oh wow. Yeah.
What about you, HRap? You know what the hell they talking about? I can tell. Me either.
Yeah, I gotta see it then.
I guess this is one of those things that they be talking about at work. Like everything else.
More work convo.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, watch this.
It's like me and Dawk talk today.
Yeah.
Talk to you about the hit and the run thing. We talk today.
Chance, watch Sicario 1.
You gotta go see. I think probably maybe the best of Benicio del Toro. Maybe the best, man.
Hey man, call me weird. Call me a weirdo. I'm cool. But I didn't know who the hell Benicio del Toro was until them damn Heineken commercials came out.
Really?
Oh wow!
I had never heard of him.
He was
by that time he was already
wild. Matter of fact, that's why I'm thinking I might have seen Sicario 1, but did that come out like a long time ago?
It's been a minute. Hold on, let me see. It's probably 2015.
Looking at those commercials going, that ain't Antonio Banderas?
Wow. Wow. Yeah, Benicio del Toro for a while was like smoking hot. You know, like he was on, I mean, every good movie that was coming out, that cat was he was killing it.
Yeah. He always looked tired.
Okay.
He looked tired this entire movie.
He looked like he drank and smoked and partied hard is what it looked like.
He was walking with a limp like he had a hip surgery or something before he did this movie.
What's the name of that movie? What's the name of that guy who everybody thought he was going to be super hot in the late 80s? Him and Denise Huxtable did that movie together.
Leon Isaac.
Oh, no, not Lick.
You're not talking about
Lick.
You're not talking about
he's a white boy. He's in True Romance. He was the one who was acting black, the white boy acting black. Everybody thought he was gonna be the main.
Is that Christian Slater?
Not Christian. The dude who Christian killed. I can't think his name right now. He started getting high and everything, and he ruined it. But
Val Kilmer?
No, not Val Kilmer.
Boy, y'all naming all these white cats that are right in the same.
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Okay.
Mickey Rourke is like been on some roids, man. He was in some movie recently where, man, he had veins popping out of his neck. He was in some wrestling movie too.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't live the hard life. Let's just say. Yeah, because he was in that movie with what's her name? God dang.
I said Denise Huxtable.
Okay.
The reason she got kicked off the Cosby Show.
Gotcha. But he was. I thought he was also in a movie with that white chick, Bruce Willis. No, the one that Bruce Willis was in a couple of movies with Kim Basinger.
Oh,
wasn't he in a movie or two with her?
Yeah. He was the man.
Like 9.5 weeks or something like that.
That sounds familiar. I'm not sure. I know the
name of the movie. 9.5 weeks.
And then he started doing those artsy movies, and he started doing that. And he started powdering his nose and tickling his liver.
All right, Trey. We'll be calling it attorney uncle of yours.
First, Big and Noise says first Sicario was good. Yeah, definitely watch it. That's y'all. Watch the first one.
That this guy was in though. Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, look up his stuff. His filmography. It's probably pretty deep, man.
Yeah, it's pretty long. Let's see. He got
Matter of fact, didn't he win an Academy Award for something?
He was in Joyride. He was in Traffic. He was in Sin City.
I think Sin City is the first one I noticed him in, but he's been in some way before that.
Yeah, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Wolfman with
Collective.
the Wolfman, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The Usual Suspects, which is a big one.
Okay, Usual Suspects, because had y'all not named that, I was done. I hadn't heard of nothing.
With Kevin Spacey, is that what Kevin Spacey?
Savages.
Now I know him. He had that weirdo accent in Usual Suspects.
He played Escobar in one of these Escobar movies too back in the day. That movie 21 Grams, a drug movie.
He was in
the Avengers. Yeah, he done did some stuff.
I think he's been in a few comedies.
He was in Star Wars too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was he was playing both sides in Star Wars.
Yeah, The Pledge with Jack Nicholson.
He's been on a lot.
Yeah.
This was
Usual Suspects. I hadn't seen any of those movies.
All right, so next week, I think
what is
Soul
Plane?
Oh, and he was also in Miami Vice.
Really?
My show, man. My show.
You said Soul Plane we do it next week?
No.
Plane. Oh wow.
Nah, we doing Questlove's
Summer of Soul.
Summer of Soul, yes.
Summer of Soul. Oh yeah, I can't wait to watch that.
Like Soul Plane. Where am I gonna find a copy of that?
So we should have what we should have done is played the trailer on that today. But so get a folks kind of a little taste of what that is. Y'all.
Oh well, Summer of Soul is this ongoing concert. It is pretty much the Black Woodstock.
Mm-hmm.
It has Gladys Knight. It has the Motown people. It has Nina Simone. Everybody who's somebody in our community. It was recorded. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 168 acts over a 6-week period.
Yeah, I've heard it's bigger than Woodstock.
Yes, it was bigger. It was way bigger, way better than Woodstock. But the white man who recorded it couldn't sell it. The sad part about this, as I was looking into that situation, Motown didn't get a Grammy for the first 20 years of its existence.
Wow.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Motown 0 for 20 in the Grammys.
Wow.
After all that,
they had no talent, obviously.
Clearly.
Right.
A lot of those people voting was having babies to it. So,
but and again, I hate to always
sleeping on Motown.
But this is what we were talking about when we were doing the destruction of the exterminated the brutes and everything else that we've done about something in our community, the social structure and the governance structure. This is what pisses me off when we always turn and say, like, when you watch this, man, if you're watching this to me in the right state of mind, I think Questlove literally did our community a favor.
Oh, yeah, he did.
If he puts that in, I haven't watched it yet, but if he puts something along those lines in the documentary about how many years they went without a Grammy, this eliminates the need for us to be talking about Oscars so white and Grammys so white and all this, because how can you ever respect the Grammys and Motown didn't get one? Motown ran music for the first 20 years.
Oh yeah,
Hitsville, USA.
Yeah, and he was on Jimmy Fallon basically explaining how there was so much footage. I don't know how many hours he said. I think 16 hours.
Why haven't we seen it?
He said it was in a vault. It was locked up in a vault somewhere. So he got the footage, and then he had to cut it down to an hour and 30 minutes, which said it took a while. And great news, we got the trailer hooked up. Y'all want to go ahead and play that right now?
Yeah, play it, please.
Are you ready, black people? Are you really ready? Are you ready to listen to all the beautiful black voices, the beautiful black feeling, the beautiful black waves moving in beautiful air? Are you ready, black people? Are you ready?
nobody ever heard of the Harlem Culture Festival. Nobody would believe it happened.
6 weekends of major artists.
The Panthers were the security and kids were sitting up on the trees. I was nervous.
I didn't expect a crowd like that. Something very important was happening. It wasn't just about the music.
1969 was a change of era in the black community.
The styles were changing.
Music was changing.
And revolution was coming together.
We are a new people. We are a beautiful people.
That concert took my life from black and white into color.
We wanted progress. We are black people, and we should be proud of this.
We were coming together to say this was our world and how beautiful it was.
We're going to try to sing a song together. Don't wait for your neighbor, because your neighbor might be waiting for you. Wanna take you higher? Are you ready? Wanna take you higher?
We believed in what we felt in here. So when we went up, let's go do it.
Wait, man. We need to promote this one big too. I think this is just as important as Exterminate All the Brutes and High on the Hog. I think it's right in that same vein, man. And getting that word out. I think this was a big one.
I just had one question really as I was watching this. Like, what was the temperature outside? Because I mean, you got some suits, you got some.
But back then,
I mean,
what they did, man.
Wow, fully dry.
Water. We wearing it.
Yeah.
So here's another fun fact: they did that concert because I was going to be born the next year.
In honor.
They were like, wow. Bring this dude in, right?
And that was Stevie playing the drums.
You ain't know Stevie played the drums?
Yeah, no. I think he learned that before the harmonica.
Yeah, Stevie can play the drums, the piano, a couple horns.
They just had to push him up to it.
Or line him up because he was all.
That's why people don't think Steve is blind, man. I hate to hear this black dude done said this.
We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about that.
It's all an act, man.
Hey, was you at church that day when we walk in the men's fellowship?
Yep.
And Stevie Wonder was there?
He was there, yeah. He had a guy, I guess his guide or something with him.
That was Love. That's the one who we say Wonder Love in his thing. That's who we talking about, Love.
Yeah. But they had the scooter upright getting propped, or else you'd be, you playing on nothing. So, I mean,
hey, real quick, wow. I don't know if HRap or maybe Dawk mentioned this, but didn't black people create Braille or invent Braille?
I think HRap. Didn't you say they had something to do with that?
Oh no.
Black Panthers.
The Black Panthers are the reason Braille is on your elevator.
Oh, okay. And those ramps are in front of your stores and stuff. Mm-hmm. They initiated that. I don't know. You know what? I'm looking into Braille itself, but gotcha. The Black Panther Party self-defense is the reason you have Braille on your elevators and some of the hospitals ramps. Ramps for this.
Yeah, some people ask why is Braille on ATM machines. how they get there? Who drove? Who drove them there?
Hey, this is from the guy who cracked up.
I'm just asking questions, man. I'm not making any judgments. I'm really trying to just really understand the plight of the seeing impaired with this, man. Get us out of here, man.
Hey, Ben. One of those buttons. The views are expressed and not by.
Right.
This show has been modified to fit your views.
Anything that you hear will be deleted.
Oh, man.
But
man, looking forward to next week.
Stevie was a savant, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, sure. Don't tell me what black people can't do. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't look at my face and tell me that.
I mean, High on the Hog kind of pretty much.
High on the Hog, yeah. Hold on. One of the beauties of the week. I want to put this up there. We got this one.
Oh, I actually bought 3 copies of that week, and I gave them. I sent one to my niece, gave the other 2 to my sisters.
Hey, look what Ray Gale put up there.
Yeah, and Jubilee. That was the other lady that was.
Yeah, I need to get both of those. I need to put those in my arsenal.
Have you ever seen Stevie with an ugly woman? No.
Ray Charles either.
Ray Charles could tell from the wrist.
That's right.
They were pretty enough.
The funniest thing in the history of Stevie Wonder, he got in trouble for domestic violence.
Let's go, Ben. Let's go. Because I don't even want to comment on it.
Wrap it up, man.
I don't know. Go now. Go ahead.
Close the curtain.
End it.
It's true.
All right. Next week, Summer of Soul. Big shout out to Questlove, man. I think that was.
When we end, I'm gonna ask y'all this question. But
yeah.
All right, go ahead and round us out. HRap.
Shout out to Craig Smith, and y'all already know. Dream those dreams, and man of a woman of live those dreams. His life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technicolor surround sound. And y'all know if we owe you something, we ain't got it. And if you need it,
get it.
Peace.
But don't take.